Good morning to everyone. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Gurmeet Singh, Professor Sailash Naik, Director of NIAS, National Institute of Advanced Studies, Bengaluru, and formerly Secretary of Minister of Earth Sciences, Government of India, Professor Samantha Raya, Registrar of Pondicherry University, and Professor Lajar, Finance Officer, and Professor Ramaya, Director of Distance Education, Professor Subhachandran, and all the other officials in the university, and also the scholars from Bangalore and NIAS. So I cordially invite you all for this ceremony of signing MoU between Pondicherry University and National Institute of Advanced Studies. And now I request Honorable Vice Chancellor to speak to us. Over to you, sir.
Very respected Professor Shailesh Nayak, who is the Director of National Institute of Advanced Studies at Bangalore, our Registrar, and Professor Samantraya, who's, I said Registrar, but he's primarily a Professor of Economics who's heading our Economics Department, and then Professor Lazar, who's our Finance Officer at the moment, but otherwise heading the Commerce Department of our university, and Professor Ramaya, who is our Director DD. In fact, immediately after this, we are going to be signing another MoU. So I thought all this can be clubbed together. And all other dignitaries who are here, I'm very happy, as I said, that we are signing an MoU with this National Institute of Advanced Studies. Once this MoU is in, I'm sure the scholars there and persons here will be able to take up joint research projects, joint academic endeavors, and the youngsters who probably are going to be looking forward to picking up problems regarding their research work, this will be one good institute where they can go and interact with the scholars there, and it will give them a good direction about what direction to move in regarding pursuing their PhD degrees. One of the major problems that our young scholars who would face is that what area to work in. What are the areas where a lot of good work is on in our country? And that is where they start fumbling, whether to pick up water issues or whether to pick up pollution issues. They are not very clear. And institutes like the one where we are signing our MoU with, they have a lot of good literature, good scholars, good persons who are good academic-minded persons who are working in these directions. And when our scholars will interact with them, it will certainly help them in embarking on a right direction in terms of completing their research work in good time and on good issues which are going to be of importance to our country. You know, research people can do, lectures can be delivered, interactions can be there, but then ultimately whether they are relevant to our nation or not is going to be something which is of prime importance. And that I keep telling my friends here in the university, particularly the research scholars, that whenever you pick up any problem, it should be related to the contemporary issues. If I start looking at the history of Qutub Minar, it's of no use, because it's all documented, it is all known. Maybe you will give some new angle to this, but then not a very relevant subject. But if somebody talks about storage of food, how best I can go in for building the storage capabilities along the main roads where the produce is generally brought, that is something which is going to be of immediate use to us. If somebody can think of how to manage floods, how to manage extra water, how to manage when there are excessive rains, the water that goes waste, how to channelize that. If somebody picks up issues related to these topics, it will be much more relevant to our country. And I'm sure these are the directions our youngsters can take. But where can they take such directions? Obviously, one source is going to be our own academic staff, but they are also into their own dedicated areas, and rarely one moves out of those. But it is through institutes like National Institute of Advanced Studies, or we have ICWA there, or ICCSR. These are the ones where there are a lot of innovative work which is possible, can be done, and some research scholars or some academic-minded people who join there, they are not with an immediate direction that you have to finish the syllabus, you have to take up this course. They are the ones who are having independent thinking. I talk about financial or diplomatic issues with some angle, but a person like, the person who has superannuated from the foreign service will have his own perspective. And that is the reason if you are following certain newspapers, people like Vivek Katuju are regularly writing in newspapers, people who have superannuated from defense are regularly writing on strategic issues in or security related matters. So they are the ones who will have an independent thinking, and that's why we call these are good think tanks which will provide an impotence to our country's immediate issues. So I'm glad that we are signing this MoU, and Professor Shailesh Nayak, who headed the Earth Sciences Department as secretary earlier, would know it much better that what areas we can cover in. Areas like remote sensing is picking up in all directions, and weather predictions related to our agriculture issues, how best to control, how best to predict weather related to our agriculture production are some of the things which one can always contemplate on, and areas related to our mineral wealth can be explored very well. But then these are the things which once our MoU is there, when people will start interacting, it will go a long way. I am not saying that we are the ones who are only going to be benefited. In fact, your institute, whenever they wish to have any interaction, they are most welcome here, and I can assure you on one point that wherever, whenever, whatever is needed, we are there to help you out in the best possible manner with open arms. We don't mince words on this. Any scholar who is requiring any help, any academic who is there in your institute, or any joint project you want to give, or any other thing related to syllabus making or certain topics you want to introduce for our university, we will be very happy to do that, and we will extend all possible cooperation. So I am very happy, as I said in the beginning, that this MoU is being signed, which will pave the new ways for scholars all over. Even outsiders are also welcome to benefit out of this, all over in their academic pursuits, and eventually it will help our society and thereby country as well. Thank you very much, and I hope, not only hope, I wish that this MoU becomes a remarkable, thundering success in the near future. Thank you very much for taking this initiative.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Registrar, my colleague Dr. Subhachandran, Professor Raju, distinguished faculty and the young scholars, we are very happy, and I am very happy to note the remarks which you made that what we should do is a societal benefit. I think NIAS has the primary goal that we work on the societal issues from the multidisciplinary angle, and we work on many such issues, and especially one of the major area which we have picked up now is how science and technology can be used for the international relationship build-up. And we have scholars looking at space, we have scholars looking at maritime, also Himalaya, also Arctic, and possibly future Antarctica, and many such issues which you mentioned. And we value the relationship with the Pondicherry University quite a bit because of the kind of work which is being done, especially on the maritime. We are quite aware of it, and we thought that by joining hands we can strengthen this maritime area quite a bit. And oceans, as we believe, is next 10 years our investment in ocean is going to pay off quite significantly to the country as a whole. And this the MoU, which will allow us to formalize our relationship which already exists. And as you rightly mentioned, that it will also, we would be able to take up many new areas which we would like to take it up. So we would be very happy, and thank you very much for your offer for anything, anytime. I think we really appreciate that, and I'm sure that with your support and the support of your esteemed faculty and the young scholars in both the institute, I'm sure that we would be able to make a new mark on this maritime studies. Thank you very much. Thank you.